Hey guys, I'm back. So I decided to go ahead and do one more video before I went back into my comics. Um, I want to talk about this is my own personal opinion, so take for that as it is. Why is it? Why is it that a lot of people like digital copies of comics compared to physical, and why is Amazon more interested in digital copies than physical copies? And I don't know if I did a video like this before because it's been like a wild minute, um, and everything. So, um, so earlier this week, I went to my local comic book shop, freaking mentally rolled my eyes at people walking around without water in their hand. I complained about this the next day to my one of my managers about it, and she made a comment, and I know I mentioned about the comment that this is child abuse if you don't have water stuff. But anyways, um, so I go in there and um, they don't have all the comic books that were supposed to come out, or they only bought enough for their pool people, which was annoying as I don't know what. Um, but um, but this made me think back. I was waiting on the bus to, not the bus, but the Lyft driver to pick me up and everything. And I was really thinking about it. I was really looking at, like, there was these big holes in the display where comic books would generally be at, and I really was thinking a lot about an earlier video I made where I talked about comicology and all this stuff, and why it is popular with comic book fans. Like, DC Infinite is popular with DC fans, and Marvel Unlimited is popular with Marvel fans like myself. Um, and I looked at, like, some of the prices, and I'm thinking, well, I can read this for free on my app, so why in the world would I want to buy these comic books for $800-900 when I can go on the app and read them for free? And I think that when you have comic book shops that are going out of business, that have bad customer service, that cares more about getting your card out and swiping it than about ensuring that you're happy, we have issues. And this is my own personal opinion about why I'm preferring digital comics to the physical media. And every once in a while, Amazon will sell a physical copy of a comic book. Like the Blood Hunt red label. Decided to delete it from my cart. Decided I really didn't want it. Not because I want to miss out on 8 pages of gore, but from what I saw, no, it wasn't as gory as I thought it was going to be, and therefore I'm not interested in it. So yeah, and I just, like, this morning I bought Spider-Woman issue number 5 as a Kindle edition, and I do plan to read it tomorrow and do a review of it, and then I will read issue 6. Um, do I plan to get issue 7? Yes, I am planning to buy issue number 7. Um, Another thing about it is that the digital copies most of the times is cheaper than the physical copy because there isn't any kind of expense. You're not printing a digital copy out. You're just having it in your database. Does this mean that the comic book will be yours forever? No, it doesn't. But it gives you more than enough time to sit down and actually read the comic. So if they happen to take it away from you, you're like, yeah, I read that issue. Um, but Another thing is is that um, comic book stores are not as friendly as they used to be. Um, for example, is most of the times they're only friendly to people they're friends with, which is fucking annoying. I want people friendly all the damn time. Another thing is, you go and you decide, well, I'm going to come in at like 11:20, give them plenty of time to put all the comic books out, and then you find out that the gangs of people showed up and took all the comic books away. And then it's like, oh, well, I'll just go on Amazon and get it as a Kindle edition. And you end up buying it as a Kindle edition right in front of them, which is hilarious. You're kind of looking at him like, I'm not allowed to read. I'm not allowed to read the physical copy of this book. Guess what? Guess what? I'll order it online. And I'll do it right in front of you because I don't care. And the thing was, I remember, oh, oh my Lord. I remember when comic book stores were the oasis of geeky people. And now comic book fans and comic book lovers or people that have seen the movies and decide they want to buy the comics, they're just getting it on Kindle. Just buying it on Kindle, buying it on their tablet, whatever. Because either they don't live near a comic book shop, or the comic book shop that they do live near is run by people that are rude. And then here's the thing that really, really pisses me off is you just go and put a stack of comic books on there, and there's really no conversation between the customer and the worker. There isn't. There is like none. They just go and scan it. And they may make a sound if something doesn't scan correctly. It's like a dead end. It's like you want to start a conversation about what you just like. Oh, do you think? Well, what do you think about one about ready to spend $5 for? And it's just crickets. Crickets. I'm like, damn! I miss the comic book shops of the '90s. At least you could have a conversation about it, like, oh yeah, what did you think about last month's issue of Daredevil? None. No. It's like they want you out of their store as quickly as possible. And it's annoying as shit because you just gave them $300 of your money, and then they want you to go, bye, don't buy, come back next week with more money because, And at least with Kindle, you don't got to worry about that bullshit. You don't have to worry about it. And I don't mean to talk like this, but it's annoying when you are having a dead conversation. This is probably why your store is going out of business, because you don't have good customer service, or you're not involved in, or you're not into whatever conversation they have about whatever comic book they're reading, or hey, do you think this is a good buy, or whatever. So it's annoying, and I think that's one of the huge reasons that these comic book shops are going out of business, because the older generation was able to have a conversation about comic books and about, what do you think about this character? Do you think this is a good comic book for me to buy? All that type of stuff. And it does get annoying really fast when you're standing there about ready to fork over $400 of your money for 2 giant stacks of books, including with the new boxes or maybe bags or boards, and there's no interaction at all. There is none. Or like if you try to have a conversation, they're like, I'm not really interested in your question about Wonder Woman. I just want you out of my shop as soon as you give me $400. And it is so annoying. So next week, and I will say, if it's true what I'm hearing, and I don't go around overhearing people's conversations, but when they're loud about it, it's kind of hard not to overhear. If it's true that my local comic book shop is closing their doors, it makes me wonder why. And it makes me wonder if the lack of actual interaction is the reason your shop is going down. Because I went to a comic book shop called Pop's Comics. And I hadn't been reading comic books in like 20 years. And I was like, I told the guys, I said, hey guys, I haven't read comic books in like 20 years. What comic books do you recommend me to buy to get back into the business of, or the whole thing, a hobby of collecting? And they were like, oh yes, Batman's really great, and Superman's great, and still great, and all that. And I was telling how I remember the whole Death of Superman event, and I didn't realize at the time that it had been this big thing, and all that. And kind of giving them a kind of insight of like, yeah, this is how old I am. They were a lot nicer, and they were actually over at PopCon last year, and they were absolutely friendly, and I might end up just going there. I might actually find out from them what's going on with the other one, because maybe they may know, because I'm kind of getting that they're going out of business, but we'll see what happens. But yeah, so literally, like, if you go over there and you ask them a question like, hey, I'm looking for this issue, do you guys have it? Because I looked for it myself, I couldn't find it. They will actually go around and they will actually try to find it for you, which is really great. Which is good. It's good customer service. You're looking for a particular key, and you've looked for it, you couldn't find it, and they help you try to find it. But that is the thing that gets me about comic book shops these days, is they're more interested in your money than keeping you as a customer. So anyways, I will see you guys around, and I will get around to those book reviews, or those comic reviews. See ya.